If you are a true Golden State Warriors fan, take a deep breath now, because what happened behind closed doors in the last few hours is not rumor, it is not exaggeration, and much less social media drama. It's a real decision, taken away from the cameras, which exposes a pain that every fan feels. Uncertainty about the future of the team we love. You trust, follow, defend, but suddenly you realize that something has changed behind the scenes. And that's exactly why this video exists. Here you will understand what really happened, why this decision was made, and how it could change the direction of the Warriors from now on. Before I move on, I need you here with me. Subscribe to the channel now, leave a like, and activate the bell, because this makes YouTube understand that this content is important for those who truly experience the Golden State Warriors. Each subscription and each like helps this video reach more fans who also want to understand what is happening behind the scenes. And don't leave here, because from now on, I'm going to show you the details that explain this shocking decision and why it could change everything in the Warriors' future. When I say that there is something different hovering over the Golden State Warriors right now, it is not force of expression. You can feel that the atmosphere has changed. It's not just a sequence of games, it's not just a specific player, it's not an isolated rumor. It's that feeling that big decisions are being discussed away from the cameras, in closed rooms, with people very aware of the historical weight of what is at stake. And if you really follow this team, you feel it too. The Warriors have reached a delicate point, a point where you can no longer pretend that everything will resolve itself over time. The franchise is going through a phase that requires difficult choices, choices that will define whether this era led by Stephen Curry will have another chapter of glory, or whether it will end silently, stuck in a middle ground that satisfies no one. And that is exactly what is being debated now. Before talking about names, exchanges, or possible movements, it is important to look at the context. Golden State is not a rebuilding team. It's not a dominant team either. He's in the most uncomfortable place possible in professional sports. Competitive enough to not give up, but too unstable to truly threaten the conference's giants. This eats away at an organization from within because it forces management to ask itself whether the current path really leads anywhere. Steph Curry continues to play at a very high level. That in itself changes everything. When you have a player of this caliber, you can't afford to only think about the distant tomorrow. The window exists now, and each season that passes without an adjusted cast is an opportunity that never comes back. This is what is weighing on the decisions being discussed right now. The investment made by Golden State was not small. The salary bill is among the highest in the league. The luxury tax fines are huge, and the expectation was never just to compete. The expectation was always to fight for the title. When the results do not keep up with this investment, the bill arrives. And it arrives quickly. The biggest problem this season has been inconsistency. It's not a lack of raw talent. It is not the absence of effort. It is the inability to repeat good performances regularly. On one night, the team looks solid, intense, competitive. In the other, everything falls apart. Steph and Draymond continue to be references, but what happens around them fluctuates too much. And that, in playoffs or even in the race for a good position, is expensive. It is impossible not to talk about Jonathan Kuminga in this context. The matter became almost inevitable. Contract negotiations stalled, the fit was never completely natural, and the feeling is that both parties see a new path better. Kuminga has physicality, explosiveness, talent, but he hasn't consistently delivered what the Warriors need to win right now. In another scenario, on another team, perhaps this development will happen with more space and less pressure. Kuminga's exchange is seen by many as practically certain, and it makes sense. He represents a valuable asset, young, with potential, capable of being the center of a package for someone more ready. But the crucial point, which many people ignore, is that this conversation doesn't stop with him. Golden State is reevaluating several pieces of the squad, coolly, without emotional attachment, looking at what really contributes to a title mentality. This is when uncomfortable decisions arise, because it's not just about talent, it's about confidence. Who does the coach trust when the game gets tough? Who responds when plan A doesn't work? Who maintains the level when the pressure increases? These questions are guiding the board now. Brandon Podziemski is a great example of this duality. In some games, he seems like exactly the type of player to fit the bill. Done in the system. Intelligent, participative, moves the ball, hits important shots, and helps ease the burden on Steph. You can clearly see why Steve Kerr likes him so much. But there are other moments when all this disappears. He hesitates, forces decisions, loses himself defensively, and becomes a target for opponents. This extreme variation in yield makes any long-term planning difficult. A team that wants to compete for titles needs to know exactly what to expect from each piece in the rotation. When this doesn't happen, the question arises, is it worth insisting, or is it worth transforming this into market value while there is still interest? The fact that Podziemski has shown recent improvement could increase his value in a possible negotiation. For teams that are not pressured by the now, he can be seen as someone with room for real evolution. For the Warriors, the question is simple and tough. Will he become what the team needs in a timely manner, or is his greatest use in helping bring someone more ready? Buddy Hield enters a different chapter in this story. The expectation when he arrived was very clear. Shooting, spacing, quick scoring off the bench. It was the fit that seemed obvious next to Curry. On paper, it worked perfectly. In practice, it didn't happen. Numbers are down, confidence is down, and space in the rotation is shrinking. In several games, it's clear that Steve Kerr doesn't feel comfortable putting him in crucial moments. That says a lot. Past reputation doesn't matter if current production doesn't keep up. In basketball, credit goes fast. The big question is whether a new environment could rescue the best version of Buddy Hield. Perhaps. But the Warriors need to decide whether it's worth betting on this or whether it's more prudent to accept that the fit didn't work and look for another type of solution. In a squad pressed by the clock, each choice needs to be surgical. And then we come to the most sensitive point of this entire discussion. Moses Moody. Here the conversation changes tone, because it's not just about performance, it's about expectation, patience, and time. Moody has been in the league for a few years, has shown real flashes, but has never really established himself. He lives in this uncomfortable territory of almost. Almost becomes a starter. Almost becomes a reliable 3-and-D wing. He almost gains the coach's full trust. Almost. In some games, he delivers exactly what is expected. Solid defense, intelligent reading, converted shots. In others, it goes unnoticed without impact, without presence. For a young team, this could be tolerable. For a team that depends on a 37-year-old icon to compete, it's not. Every minute counts. Every rotation matters. Each mistake weighs more. And that's what makes Moody's situation so delicate. The potential still exists. He is young, physically ready, technically capable. It wouldn't be surprising if, in another context, he made a jump in performance. This scares any board. No one wants to be the team that trades a player and sees him explode shortly after. This fear is real, but the Warriors cannot be paralyzed by fear. The question being asked now is objective. Does Moses Moody help the team more on the court today, or as a bargaining chip to bring in someone who can solve immediate problems? This is the essence of the decision. Teams around the league see value in him. Controlled contract, age, flashes of talent. For organizations that can wait, it is an interesting investment. For Golden State, he is a tough choice. If the opportunity arises to bring in a reliable veteran, someone who knows how to play under pressure, who helps defend elite wings, who shoots consistently or organizes the attack when Steph rests, the price may well be to give up Moody. And there is no comfortable decision. There is only the necessary decision. The exchange deadline is quickly approaching. The conversations intensify. Nothing is finalized, but a lot is being evaluated. And it's important to make it clear. Moses Moody is not untouchable. This does not mean that he will be replaced, but it does mean that the board is willing to listen, analyze, and, if it makes sense, act. This is the kind of moment that defines a franchise. Keep young people out of emotional attachment or adjust the squad coldly to maximize the title chance. No choice comes without risk. No choice comes without criticism. But large organizations are remembered for knowing how to make these choices. At the end of the day, it's all about Stephen Curry. As long as he's still playing at this level, the Warriors have an obligation to try everything. You can't think small. You can't postpone decisions. Time doesn't wait. And now I want to hear from you. If it were your decision, would you trade Moses Moody to bring in a ready, reliable veteran? Or do you think it's worth pushing a little longer and betting that the breakthrough will finally come? What kind of player do you think would really change the game for this team? This is the debate that defines the present and future of the Golden State Warriors. And the next few weeks will show whether the franchise is willing to do whatever is necessary to try to reach the top once again. And this is exactly where everything is defined. The Golden State Warriors have reached that point in the season where there is no longer room for lukewarm decisions or waiting for time to resolve itself. What is being discussed now, behind closed doors, will directly impact the legacy of this era, the immediate future of the franchise, and, above all, the real chance of seeing Steph Curry fight for another title. Every move counts, every choice weighs, and the next few days could completely change the team's course. If you want to understand everything that is happening, follow every confirmed rumor, every behind-the-scenes reveal, and every decision that could explode before the trade deadline. Don't stop here. In the pinned comment is the Golden State Warriors News Today playlist, where I bring together all the updates, in-depth analysis, and content that really explains what no one tells you about the Warriors. Get in there now, watch the next videos, and stay one step ahead of everyone. Because those who really follow it don't find out later. Find out first.